What's up, what's up, what's up? This is your man, the STL Stranger, Umar Lee, here in London, jolly old England, with my fellow American, brother Terron Poole. Brother, what's the name of your YouTube channel? How you pronounce it? Skep Islamica?
Yeah, Skeps Islamica.
Skeps Islamica. So be sure to subscribe to his YouTube channel. He interviews top-notch, high-level academics, specializing in the study of Islam. It's some really interesting content, and you get to see how the sausage is made.
And, my YouTube channel is catered for Muslims and non-Muslims both. We really just try to bring out the cultural, civilizational aspects of Muslim or Islamic history. It's not really faith-based, although we do touch on some things that pertain to the faith, but we just strictly try to stick to the cultural history and how Islamic civilization developed over the course of, 1,400 years.
Now, one of the most interesting things about you is you're an American guy like me, and you're living in England. So, in brief, how was your experience living in England? Is it a positive experience? Or?
Yeah, for myself, it's definitely been a positive experience. Coming from California, things can be very hectic at times and unpredictable, as well as, fairly expensive for some people to live. Here in the UK, for myself, it's my speed, it's livable, what people make in their wages versus the cost of living. For myself, makes total sense. And I have a family of two, my wife, and I'm able to take care of them with my wages, which with what I was doing in California would have been unheard of. So, and as well as the people are really nice. I like the British culture. Where I live at in Manchester is extremely diverse. We're here in London, as you can see.
Look at all these halal restaurants. Just had a halal English breakfast.
There's quite a bit of diversity here in London as well.
Would you say the standard of living generally for a working class person is higher in England than it is in the U.S.?
I would say it's more rewarding, definitely.
Yeah. And what about levels of safety?
I'm sorry?
What about level of safety? Do you think
I can't really speak for London. We hear about a lot of negative things that are coming, that happen in this
people
city.
watching Top Boy? Yeah.
But up north, man, I will tell you, I definitely feel safe. I've been out all times of night. I've worked throughout the night doing security where I've had to patrol the streets. And I don't feel like my safety is in jeopardy. Of course, I do take certain precautions to keep myself safe, as I would anywhere I go.
Yeah.
But I never
just don't do like Bomac and bring a gun to the UK. Yeah.
Yeah, I remember that article that you sent me. That's crazy. And here they're more strict with immigration or people getting through than in the States. So I don't even know why he would do something like that. But yeah, in general, I do like living out here, and I would recommend it for people.
All right, God save the king. So I've had a wonderful time here in London. I want to get out and explore the countryside, the north, other cities, Manchester, Birmingham.
Scotland, Ireland. I remember you mentioned Ireland.
Yeah.
You wanted that to be on your itinerary.
Yeah, absolutely. So, I want to see everywhere. It's just a matter of timing. When you work in the U.S., you have a limited amount of vacation time. So
people usually take advantage of vacations during the 3-day weekend. At least in California, that's what they would do. Either go out to Reno, Tahoe, Vegas, spend 3 or 4 days, then come back. But, here in Europe, the vacation or holiday culture is a little bit more expansive. People really make a point.
And you got like Ryanair, it's cheap to fly to European cities.
People really take advantage.
Yeah. Now, also once you're here, it's cheap to fly to Muslim majority countries, Morocco, Turkey, Egypt, etc.
To fly to Morocco is only like around 100 pounds.
Yeah. And let me ask you this. How plugged in are you into current events and politics in the U.S. living here? Or have you kind of tuned out?
Well, to be honest, it's impossible to tune out of U.S. politics, especially when you leave the U.S., because on a global scale, people look at our political situation as some form of entertainment. Or just put it's very popular. A lot of people talk about what's going on in the U.S., whether it's pertaining to politics or racial situations or anything that's happening. So even though I'm not a very, very politically astute person, I don't watch a whole lot of news and whatnot. You still hear about things from certain groups who might ask you questions, or in the work environment, you might hear certain topics come up pertaining to American politics.
Have you taken on any English characteristics? Are you having beans on toast now? Or are you watching more soccer? Have you picked up playing cricket? Any of those things?
Funny you say cricket. My first job here in the UK was working at a cricket match during the
At
Ashes.
Lord's? Or
the Ashes?
no, at the Oval, right? Yeah.
The Ashes.
The Ashes, yeah.
You went to Australia.
Because I'll be at Lord's this weekend. I'm looking forward to it. Yeah.
Okay, yeah. Well, that was my first job. I didn't know much about cricket. I still don't know much about cricket, but I've been exposed to it a bit. Soccer is still going to have to get me dragging and screaming. Although I have, Manchester United soccer jerseys. I like the way that they look. I will start sporting a City.
And Man City, the best team in the world right now. Even though West Ham is going to beat them on Saturday.
The last place I worked at, Left Bank Apartments, Bernardo Silva, who plays for Man City, was living there.
That's what's up.
I didn't know who he was until my Saudi co-worker said, "Hey man, that's Bernard Silva. You're not gonna say nothing?"
Yeah.
And then I was like, "Man, look, I don't know nothing about soccer team here." But hey, some of these soccer players, when you run into them, they're cool dudes. Even at the place I work at now, they had a soccer pro footballers award ceremony, so I had a chance to bump into a few people who are in that league, and they're really down to earth, regular people. They're not as big as football players in the States.
Right. Another thing about the UK and the Muslim community, what I've always kind of liked, working class guy like me, and like you, like I'm a big boxing guy. A lot of British Muslim boxing fans. Muslims are prominent in the sport of boxing in the UK. It's just more of a working class Muslim culture here as opposed to the US.
Yeah, well, the US immigration policy is a little bit more strict.
Right.
If you're not coming to the US to handle business or to do business, they're not just going to let you in so you could live free, willy-nilly.
Right.
Whereas the UK has had a different relationship with a lot of the countries of the people that they let in.
Commonwealth.
The Commonwealth, the British Empire and whatnot. So yeah, you'll get people who are not only from a more educated background from these countries, but also from a more rural background. So it does create a little bit of a different mix of Muslims than what you'll find typically in the United States. I know it's changing in the United States because of certain things that have happened in the Middle East and certain immigrant populations have come in. But generally, yeah, the immigrant population, the Muslim immigrant population here is definitely, I don't want to say not lower on the social economic scale as the Muslims in the US, but more laid back, working class. The vibes are just totally different, man. It's hard to articulate, but once you're out here, you kind of get the feeling, And then also Muslims are more pronounced in the UK than, at least in my part of the United States, such as California. I feel like the Muslim community was more so like in a closet. If you weren't really actively engaging with the Muslim community,
Muslims are fully integrated into society in British
you see
society.
Muslims on UK television, not even about anything pertaining to Islam, but just featured in episodes like the Eastlanders.
Right.
Or if it's some cooking reality show, they might have a Muslim or a Muslim guy. Nothing pertaining to Islam, but you see an Islamic face or a recognizable Muslim face. And yeah, I believe they've been more integrated, at least compared to the part of the United States that I lived in, and what I seen from the Muslim community. So yeah, I honestly believe the UK is like the best country to live in as a Muslim in the West. One of them.
Well, there you have it. Check out his YouTube channel, Brother Terron Poole, Skep Islamica. Good hanging out with you here in jolly old England, in the city of London, having a great time.
Yeah, anybody coming out here to visit, man, hit me up. I live in Manchester, but obviously I'm down here in London kicking it with Umar Lee. It's actually really good to finally meet him. I've been following his channel for like the last 6 years, and only in the last like maybe several years have we been in contact with each other. So it's finally it's really nice to finally have closed that gap and met him in person. So everybody check out his channel. I really like his commentary on up-to-date Muslim what's going on in the Muslim community. And so peace, people.
That's what's up. Peace.